Hey guys, so today I am talking about my nail care routine and my favorite products to use in my nail care routine. So I fell off the wagon for a bit, not completely off the wagon, but I wasn't doing videos, so it wasn't as important to me that things looked really nice close up on camera. Historically, I've always neglected my right hand and taken decent care of my left hand, and I did continue to take decent care of my hands while I was gone, but I would really like to get my right hand looking as good as my left hand. So these are the products and methods that I'm using to try to do that at the moment. Again, I've never taken great care of my right hand because it's never been really shown on camera, and it's gotten to the point where I can put like different fingers together from each hand and they look like they belong to two different people. Like, it is bad. So that's what I'm working on right now, and I want to show you guys how I'm trying to do it. So I will have everything linked down below that I use in this video. I'm going to try to get like an Amazon storefront set up. If that doesn't work, then it will just be Amazon affiliate links and then probably separate store links for some of these other products, but it'll all be in the description box. So there are a couple different things that I do depending on whether I'm swatching or doing a full manicure. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about a full manicure here, and I'll throw some of my swatching stuff in. So this is mostly stuff that I do around weekly as far as filing and like pushing my cuticles back and whatnot. The first thing I'm going to do is remove my polish, and my absolute favorite polish remover for this is the Zoya Remove Plus. I have one of these little pump bottles and then I refill with this larger one. I like this. It does have acetone in it, but it's kind of like, I feel like it's a little more diluted. So it does take a little bit more work to remove the polish with this, but it's totally worth it because it doesn't dry my skin out at all. If I'm doing swatching, I will use non-acetone remover that I buy by the gallon. I don't love using that to remove a like fully dry manicure that's been worn for a while because it does take a really long time to dissolve the polish. But if I'm doing swatches, they're usually still tacky or straight up wet when I take the polish off, so I don't need a lot of dissolving to happen, so it's a lot easier on my nails for me to use the non-acetone. But as far as regular remover goes, removing a full manicure, I will always use the Zoya Remove Plus. So after the polish is off, I need to file my nails. I like to keep my nails very short, so I do file them regularly, usually about once a week. My nails don't grow long very well, like they will grow long, but their shape is really weird. The corners curl in and they just do not look good. So I like to keep my nails shorter. I like to use a glass nail file for that. I think these work the best. I think they're faster. I'm not like a nail clipper. I will usually do all of my reshaping and shortening with just a file. And I've used a lot of glass files in the past, and I've had some hit or miss ones. The ones I'm using right now I really like. These are from the brand Vega. We'll call it Vega. These are good. I've had some glass files from Amazon that were really crappy and used them like one time and the grit came off completely and they were totally useless. But these ones have been very good for me so far. I have not had these a super long time. I think I've maybe had them like 3 or 4 months. But so far they're already working way better than the last set that I had. So I'm really liking these. I highly, highly recommend using a glass file. I think they are, in general, less damaging for your nails. And like I said, they're more efficient. Everything works a little bit faster. The only problem that I have is I tend to like really get over the top vigorous with my filing, and I'm always stabbing myself with the sharp end. Like, I'll start filing and I'll get a little crazy and it'll slip and I stab myself with the end of these all the time. Then if I absolutely have to, I will buff my nails. I don't use a buffing block every single time that I do a manicure. I kind of just do this in an as needed basis. I have some pretty deep ridges in my nails, and I have essentially given up ever buffing those ridges away because they are so deep on a couple of my nails. But I do use this a lot when I'm swatching because sometimes swatch after swatch after swatch will cause my nails to start to peel up and fray like right across the top, and I have to buff that away or it shows in my swatches, and a lot of times I actually end up editing that out of my swatches because it's just too much buffing. I do really like this buffing block from Tweezerman. This is probably the best one that I've had. And what I like about this is all of these little sides are these little sticky panels, and it comes with a bunch of extras, so you can take these off and put them back on and replace them as needed. I've had this for a really long time and I have yet to have to replace any of them, so I still have them like fully stocked on refills still, so this should last me a really long time. I just run this across my nails. I usually use side 2, 3, and maybe 4 sometimes. I don't love to make my nails super shiny right before I put a manicure on, so I will skip the 4th side a lot of the time because I just feel like that makes my nail polish not stay on as well. I like to have a little bit of roughness there before I put a fresh manicure on just to see if it will last a little bit longer. As So the next thing I do is use a cuticle remover. This is something that I tend to neglect, and I also get I get really bad, dry, dead cuticle stuck to my nails. Even with using cuticle remover, a lot of times you can still pick it out in my photos and videos because it's just like more than I can remove at one time. And I'm hoping that trying to be a little bit more regular about this will help quite a bit. But I use the Blue Cross cuticle remover. You can get this from Sally's Beauty Supply. I have had this forever and I have barely used any of it. So I feel like this bottle should last you most of your life. I just refill an empty nail polish bottle and use it that way. But I brush this all around on my nails and then I let it sit for a second. It will soften the skin that needs to be pushed back, and it will also soften that dry, dead skin that tends to stick to your nails. Once it's soaked for a little while, I will use a metal cuticle pusher. Now I used to use a plastic one and it worked well for pushing the skin back. I say the skin because I know that's technically not the cuticle, but I can never remember the actual term for it, and I get it confused with a term for a different body part that is totally not what that is. So I'll put it up on the screen or something because I'm trying to not be wrong, but I'm not really trying that hard to be right either. So anyway, I use a metal one of these. I just started using a metal cuticle pusher and I find that it does a much better job at scraping that dead skin up off of my nails. Like I said, the plastic one worked the same to actually push the skin back, but as far as getting that dead skin off the nails, I feel like a metal one is necessary. This one is from C&D. It was just in a nail care kit that was sent in a PR package a while back. I don't know if I would have ever converted to one of these without having this sent to me, and I'm really glad that it was sent to me because I wouldn't have actually bought one, and it's a really, really good tool. So I don't have a lot of experience with these, so I'm not sure if this is anything special. I kind of doubt it. I feel like you should be good with just getting one of these from Sally's. They should all perform relatively the same way. So then I will either go wash my hands or I will take a cotton ball with some non-acetone remover just to remove all of that dust from filing and buffing and the cuticle remover, and then it's base coat time. So as far as base coat goes, longevity of my polish is the most important thing for me. So I don't have a lot of experience with ridge filling base coats, kind of peel off base coats, but I haven't used one in a really long time. For the most part, I'm trying to find a base coat that will make my polish last as long as possible because my nail polish does not last a very long time. Usually my biggest issue is that my nails are very bendy and they will bend at the corners, and then once the polish is fully dry, so after a day, the corners will crack and they'll usually start chipping somewhere around the middle, the inside of the corner. It's usually not tip wear that gets me, it's the cracking from my nail bending. So strong adhesion is my goal with a base coat. So my absolute favorite is the C&D Sticky. I've been using this for years and years. I really, really like how well this anchors the polish onto my nail. I usually buy a very large one and then refill this small bottle. Another one that I really like that is pretty comparable in performance is the Orly Bonder. And the good thing about Orly polishes is their bottles are a little bit bigger than everyone else's bottles, but the price is not the price is comparable, so you tend to get a little bit more product for your money when you buy Orly polishes or treatments. So the Orly Bonder is also a really good one. This is, they call it the rubberized base coat, and it dries like the C&D does with a little bit of a tacky kind of grippy finish, and I feel like that helps hold the polish on a little bit longer. After my manicure is on, we have to talk top coats. So my all-time favorite top coat for generally everything is the KB Shimmer Clearly on Top. I like this for regular manicures. It works really well over holographic polishes, and it's nice and thick, so it works really well over glitters or anything that's textured that you want to smooth out as well. And it also dries really quickly. Now this is a quick drying top coat, so it does tend to get kind of thick towards the end, but as long as you are making sure that your cap is on tight and then cleaning off, okay, because there's a lot of crap on mine, but do as I say, not as I do. So as long as you're cleaning off these threads, any caked on or dry nail polish that's on those threads is gonna let air get into the bottle and it's gonna thicken up faster. That's probably the best way that you can try to preserve polishes, and especially top coats that you're opening and closing all the time, because they tend to thicken up really quickly, and especially quick drying top coats because they're made to dry quickly. So this is my favorite. I've also used the Glisten and Glow HK Girl. I used that for a long time. I've kind of switched over to the KB Shimmer because I have so many bottles of the KB Shimmer one, but I do think they are pretty comparable as far as performance goes. So KB Shimmer Clearly on Top is my absolute favorite top coat. I've also been getting a lot of questions lately about what matte top coat that I've been using, because I've been putting matte top coat on everything in my swatch videos. Right now I'm using the Orly one. I have no complaints about this. I think matte top coats are pretty comparable to each other. However, the first one that I was using when I came back to YouTube was the Pure Ice one, and it was really old, like really old. And it was cracking, like all my manicures were getting these big cracks in them, and I ended up having to redo a bunch of swatches because it was more than I could edit out. So I switched over to this Orly one, and I'm having no problems here. And again, bigger bottle. So after all of that is done, I do like to use a drying product. So this is a fairly new thing for me. It's not something that I am used to doing. I just kind of started doing this when I had a baby because I need to be able to touch things relatively quickly after doing my nails. So I have this bottle of the OPI Drip Dry, which is a very small bottle and has actually lasted me a surprisingly long time. And I'm not sure, I think I have other ones that have come in packages over the years that I haven't tried yet, so I probably will not repurchase this until I've gone through everything, but so far this one's working really well for me. This is not going to make your polish like totally rock hard. You can do anything with your nails instantly, but it does kind of like take the edge off, kind of make the surface a little bit more solid so that you can carefully kind of go about your business without ruining your manicure. And I am terrible about smudging and denting my manicures because I get really impatient and I don't want to wait for everything to fully dry. And this has saved quite a few manicures for me because everything's just a little bit dry, like just dry enough that I can get through what I need to do without ruining it. So I don't think I can go back to not using a drying product after having a baby. So then we have to talk moisturizers. So for cuticle oil, I am really liking this Orly one. I think this came in a, what do you call it? Color Pass. Their Color Pass subscription. Their boxes usually come with like the full collection of whatever season it is. And then a bottle of Bonder or a matte top coat. That's how I have so many of those. But I got one that actually had this cuticle oil in it, and I've been using this a lot lately, and I really like this. It has orange oil in it, so it smells really good. I guess it says orange extract. Either way, it smells very citrusy, and I like it a lot. I've been using this one mostly as my like directly after a manicure oil. And then in between throughout the day, I like to stash cuticle oil pens all over the house and in my car. The ones that I use are from KB Shimmer. I know that a bunch of different brands make cuticle oil pens, and they're probably all pretty comparable, but these are the ones that I like. I will say that the scents on the KB Shimmer oil pens are really strong. They do sell an unscented if that's more what you're into, because the scented ones can be like, they can be overpowering if you're not into that. And sometimes I'm not like sensitive to scents, and even for me sometimes these are a little overpowering, but cuticle oil pen is super convenient because you can stash it anywhere. So I have two different categories as far as hand moisturizers go. So I do really like this Zoya Naked Manicure system. They have the hydrating hand and body serum, which is like a very liquidy spray serum that you spray on and rub in, and then followed up with the hand cream. This is a more lightweight product, so you can use this and you're not going to get greasy, and you can kind of like touch things as you need to. I do like using this when I don't want to be greasy. However, for me personally, I like a hand cream that is like very thick and very greasy and even like takes a little while to soak in because I feel like it's actually doing something. My all-time favorite is actually from Trader Joe's. This is the Ultra Moisturizing Hand Cream from Trader Joe's, and I really like this. I put this on, try to put it on a couple times a day. But I feel like this works really well for my skin. I tend to get like weirdly dry on the side of my pointer finger on my right hand. This is like the only thing that I've found that can really soften that area of my hand. And this is just fantastic. Really like this, and it's kind of like I wouldn't expect this to be so good, but it is. I also have this one from Trader Joe's. This is the Rose Oil Ultra Moisturizing Hand Cream. I don't know if this is a seasonal thing because I have not gone to repurchase this because I don't love this one as much. It performs the same way, but I don't really love the scent. That's why there's so much more left of this one. So as far as cleaning up my manicure goes, I do like to take a cleanup brush, dip it in some acetone, and like really straighten out the lines and get any polish off the sides of my nails. I'm kind of a messy painter, so it's usually necessary for me to do this. I have this ancient Sony Kashuk brush that I don't even know. I think it was a concealer brush. For some reason, this has lasted me forever, and I have taken really terrible care of it. Like, I never put oil on the bristles or anything. It just gets put into straight up acetone all the time and somehow is still kicking really well. I did like the e.l.f. $1 concealer brushes. I still use one of those for oil, for swatches, but I don't think I have any left, and they don't make them the same way anymore. But I am in the market for a new cleanup brush probably relatively soon because this is so old and I don't think they make this anymore and it can't possibly last that much longer. So if you guys have a suggestion for a good cleanup brush, please let me know. I also do try to avoid clipping the skin around my nails at all unless I have like a really bad hangnail because I'm a picker and like I absolutely will pull and pick at that if I don't clip it away. So if I do get a bad one, like I'll cut it off. I know it's probably not the best thing for me, but it's necessary sometimes to keep me from ripping it and having it go like all the way up my arm. Another thing that I am trying to do right now is wear gloves when I'm doing the dishes, when I'm like touching chemicals. Normally I'm the kind of person that will like scrub the inside of the toilet out with CLR with my bare hands and then just think that I can wash my hands later and it won't burn all my skin off, which is like a thing that actually happened to me a couple weeks ago. So I'm trying to get really good about wearing gloves anytime I'm doing things like that. I haven't seen a huge difference yet, but I also haven't been doing it that long, so we'll see how it goes. Another thing that I've been doing, which I don't know is actually making any difference, is I've been putting a coat of Nail Envy on after my manicures if I'm not going to be repainting my nails, just so that there's something on there. I have a ton of these because they come in a lot of PR packages from OPI over the years, so I've got a lot of these laying around and I don't ever use them. So I decided to start putting a coat of this on whenever my nails are bare rather than having them completely bare. Again, not noticing a huge difference. Not sure if this actually does anything, but I'm trying it anyway. So that is my nail care routine and my nail care favorites. Again, I will have everything linked down below so you guys can check out the plethora of things that I mentioned. Hope you guys enjoyed this one and I will talk to you later. Bye.